Hey guys, I'm back. We've been doing a whole lot of new knives lately, and because I like knives, I like sharp things, but we're going to look at something a little bit different today. One of the other things I really love is multi-tools. If you watched my very first Q&A video, one of the questions was, what are 5 things that I think everybody should have in a go bag or bug out bag or whatever? And one of the things that I said I think everybody should include is a good multi-tool, because it's just, I carry one almost every day, everywhere anyway. It's a great tool to have. They tend to be pretty expensive though, for a good one anyway. And, on this channel we've looked at a few different ones by Leatherman, we looked at some by SOG, by Gerber. I honestly can't remember if we looked at any other brands so far, but, if you're fortunate enough to be in a position to throw down a good, 60, 70, 100, $120 on a good sturdy multi-tool, that's great. Good on you, If not, and I think that's the boat that a lot of people are in, do you not deserve a good tool? No, I don't think that's the case. So there are a lot of tools out there that are honestly not so good. There are some out there that are in that mid-range, but there are some that are low cost and that I think, in my humble opinion, are a pretty good value for the dollar. Honestly, I don't think they're as tough and survivable as one of the big name ones, but I have PETA Kitty Cat's tail literally in my face right now as I'm talking. You guys can't see it. But if you can't or you're unwilling to throw down the big bucks for one of the big name brand tools, there are some options out there for you. So today, we're going to look at the Shanghai multi-tool. This one was given to me by the Shanghai Corporation as a sample. This is one that's heading out to one of the winners for the big 60-item giveaway we just did. So to start off with, and I have done nothing with this. I have taken it out of the box just to inspect it real quick. Let's take a look at the sheath. So it comes with a nice nylon rigid sheath. So it's not, something flimsy. It doesn't give you all the fancy MOLLE options, but you know what? It's got a sturdy belt loop. I like the fact that it's rigid and it holds its shape. It's made of decent quality nylon. Yes, it's all made in China. It's got a pretty solid, well-made snap. And I'm always in favor of these rigid, non-collapsible type sheaths, because when you're working on stuff, if you just want to pop it open and you've got a lot going on, you don't want to fight with your sheath to put the tool back away. I like that it holds its shape and you can just put it back in there. And this is pretty cool. And that's just a nice feature. It's got a nice lining inside. Not that that's really a big selling point, but it's a nice lining inside too. It's not just put together like crap. So you've got that. The tool itself is actually a big tool. So I'm going to compare it to the Leatherman Wave right now, because in terms of the way it opens and a lot of the tools, it's fairly similar. But I like the fact that it is a nice, large size tool. It's not one of those micro minis that, they expect you to be able to do all the full activities with this little tiny thing. It is made chunky. It is made for your hand to get a real good grip on. It's all metal. There's no plastic involved in it. Tools lock on both sides. It's not a one-handed opener, but neither is the Leatherman Wave, unless you really break these things in. But one feature it does have that the Leatherman doesn't is spring-loaded pliers, which is kind of cool. Like the Leatherman, it's got, I hate when they do this, but they say that this is actually 2 tools. So you've got needle nose pliers and regular pliers, whatever. And then you've got a wire cutter and a heavy-duty wire cutter. So they actually count it as 4 tools right up there. But I like the spring-loaded, action, getting it back open, because this one's not so bad, but I have a Gerber that's, an old-school Gerber that gets really stiff and is kind of difficult sometimes. Honestly, it's not as comfortable as the Leatherman, but if you take a look at the fit and finish, everything looks pretty well constructed, decent quality in terms of materials. It says on the back here, 14 total tools, 420 stainless steel construction. 420, we know, is not a real high quality stainless steel, but that's about standard for these things. 420 HC, you're gonna find in a lot of multi-tools. I don't. It doesn't say 420 HC. It just says 420. But you know, again, for the price you're paying, I don't know specifically what it is. Well, let's start looking through the tools. So first, you've got a little saw. Now, it is not nearly as big as the saw that comes on the Wave, and none of these tools are accessible from the outside. Now, the Wave, you've got to close it up to use it, but the Wave has a file, 2 blades, and a saw all accessible, one-handed opening on the outside. The saw on the Wave, just a little bit bigger, but in terms of cutting power, well, yeah, your cutting power is probably a little bit better on the Wave too. But you've got a decent saw there. I mean, not too bad. I'm not going to take this out and rough test it. You know, this is a brand new item that's going to someone. And the lock is very easy, not too tough to use. Next up, you've got your main knife blade. And so, again, let's take a look. Now, with Leatherman, you get 2 blades. So you get and this one is a user, by the way. So you get your straight edge and you get your serrated edge. And you can see they're both a bit bigger than on the Shine. I don't have the exact measurements in front of me. The thing that is kind of a pain on this, a little bit awkward, a little bit difficult to hold this knife blade in a comfortable cutting position. You know, if you close the whole thing up, well, then you have the rest of this bottom handle kind of in your way a little bit. If you have the whole thing open, you know, I mean, that's uncomfortable. If you kind of just close one side of it, it's not that comfortable. This is a much more comfortable way to hold a knife blade. But again, we're dealing with a budget tool. For the money you're spending, you get a cutting tool, you know, and let's give this blade a test right here. All right. Well, that's no good. That's not good at all. Well, we can get it to cut. It can use a little bit. So the winner of this item will be going to Army basic training shortly, and I'm assuming that they still teach you how to sharpen a knife, you know, in the Army. So she'll get a good education on that. But you know, it's a decent blade. It's not going anywhere. The lock works, holds that blade in. Needs a little honing. And then you have a small slot driver and a small Phillips head inside. Looking at the other side, so we have a large file and a slot or flathead screwdriver, depending on what you want to call it. Technically, it's a slotted driver. I've been corrected on that. So 2 files, not bad. You have a wire stripper. You have a bottle opener and a can opener. This would probably work for opening your can. I've seen them come a little bit sharper, but we're going to forgive the bottle opener this time because, yeah, you know, it's a multi-tool, so it's not like an egregious extra add-on, but 3 tools right there. Another little kind of an awl, and then another little blade that, you know, if you want to use it as a blade, it needs to be sharpened up some more, but you've got an awl. Most multi-tools come with a little awl on it. And then a medium-sized flathead screwdriver, and then, to be honest, I'm not sure what that thing is for right there. I don't know. If it's another wire stripper or if it's meant for something else, I don't know. But so for, you know, a quarter of the price of something like this Leatherman right here, which has really, if you think about it, it has some extra features, but all the same basic tools. You're getting what is ultimately an effective multi-tool. Now, this one, like I said, this one I have just opened just to inspect it, you know, because I'm giving it away. They sent me 2 of these. I have another one of these that I have lent to a couple friends just to use a little bit, and it's still floating around. I have gotten no complaints from it, which surprised me. People that I lent it out to, I thought for sure within a month or 2 somebody was going to make the awkward phone call of like, hey, Mike, I broke your tool. No, that is another one of those awkwardly dirty things I just said. I was certain that call was coming. It is still being sort of passed around from person to person just because, you know, I wanted to see what it was going to take. Yeah, it's a, you know, it's a budget tool, but it has stood up to a lot of abuse so far. There has been, you know, being passed from person to person over a couple months of work, a slight bit of wobbliness in the handles is what's been reported to me. And then I took a look at it, and it's really, I mean, you'd have to go look for it to find it. But I'm actually really surprised at this brand. I've seen a couple videos where they have a much smaller, like a keychain multi-tool, where people were able to find a little bit of rust, actually. Either rust or, I don't know, just dried schmutz coming out of the pivot there. People have not reported any problems with it to me whatsoever. You know, and these are people of varying experience levels, from, you know, very proficient with tools to not so much. And these are people that, you know, are still in Florida right now today, you know, passing it around. And, you know, so it's a humid area. If rust and corrosion is going to form on something, it's going to happen down there. It will, right along the coast and everything. So overall, very good option for somebody that wants a decent quality multi-tool, doesn't have a lot of money to spend. I definitely would recommend picking up one of these. Now, it's not going to last you forever. It is not a Leatherman. It is not a Gerber. It is not a SOG. It is not a Victorinox. Definitely not. But it's a good definitely a good entry level tool. It's a good replacement if something happened to yours and you can't afford to get a new one right now. It's a good spare if you have an expensive one, but, you know, you don't want to use that expensive one for grimy or disgusting or possible, like, you know, on a fishing boat or something where, you know, it might fall overboard or something like that. This is a good tool for all of those purposes. Or if you have somebody that you just want to get one for, but you don't know what their level's at, you know, to shell out the big bucks for something, you know, really super fancy. I'm surprised at how few of the big name ones come with the spring-loaded pliers. I know it's a feature that you see more these days, and I also know, before somebody comments, I get it. One more spring is one more thing that can possibly break, but if your spring breaks, then it's just like a, you know, regular manual pliers again. Anyway, good quality tool, good price, great price for what you're getting. Definitely better than, I've seen a Hoffman Richter one. I've seen a lot of real budget ones under $20. I've seen a couple $9.99 ones that were just ready to fall apart when you got them. The Shine High one, I think, is probably a lot better than a lot of the budget ones. It's better than ones that I've seen that are more expensive. Again, this is not going to be a lifelong tool. I'm not trying to say it is. It's definitely going to have a limited life. It's definitely not going to be with you as long as I have a Gerber that I've carried since it was issued to me in '96. I've had this Leatherman Wave since it was issued to me for deployment, I think, in 2007. But it is a good quality tool, not a great quality tool. It's a good quality tool, and it's a good value for the money. So, guys, I haven't made this plug in a while, but I'll throw it in here. If you guys want to take a look at the Patreon page for supporting this channel and helping out and being part of that team and seeing what goes into that, I think I finally got the stupid channel patches done, hopefully. There's been a whole saga with that. But, you know, you can check out my Patreon page. There's a link to that in the video description on this video. If there's a video you'd like to see, or if there's a suggestion you think there's just something cool for a video, you know, any requests or suggestions, you can send that to docp96@gmail.com. Email address will also be in the video description. And I've already recorded this month's Q&A video, so I'm looking for new questions. Anything you guys want to ask me, I will answer. I've answered some truly ridiculous questions already. I've answered some really good questions already. But send all those to QuestionForDocP@gmail, and that will also be in the video description. So you can check all that out. I know a lot of you have wanted a video on a good budget multi-tool. I hope this is something that you like, that you'll check out. If not, you know, I'll always keep my eyes out for something else that I think will work out well. So anyway, I appreciate every single one of you. You are all totally awesome. This is on its way to its new owner as of tomorrow, from the recording date, not from the posting date. And I will see you all again real soon.